and comprehensive. इसमें सारा information आपको मिल जाएगा. I haven't seen a better document than this released by CBSE in recent times. हमारे बहुत से सवाल होते हैं about shortage of attendance, about how to do, LOC, how there are problems in attendance and then problems in examination bylaws, affiliation. All the answers are given so well in this annexure, which is along with this letter. So framework and significant guidelines in the context of secondary and senior school certificate examinations. This was the circular that is released. So what is happening? This is basically they are saying that there is a COVID pandemic right now across the world and precious time has been lost. Schools are closed. तो अभी जो है सारे process जो है शुरू करना है exam के. So far there has been nothing happening with related to CBSE examinations as such. So now they are saying the time is running because short and they were planning to open the schools, but unfortunately the circumstances are beyond the control of CBSE. So they have said that the process has to be started immediately. So what is the instruction with regard to theory and practical examinations, and all the other schedules have been prepared as a one-time measure. So this document is very, very important for this year. So principals, admins, all those who are taking, their examination in the schools, educators, teachers, everybody should be able to read this document because this document is very comprehensive, very detailed. A lot of FAQs are there, and it's a document which has to be read in detail, especially the parts which you are looking at. So the first is you will see the contents there: introduction, the bylaws, the channels of communication, very important. कई बार हमें पता नहीं होता किसको contact करना है, कैसे contact करना है. For everything, the letter is sent to CBSE, which is not the right procedure. So what are the channels of communication is very clearly explained in this, and the jurisdiction of the regional offices. So if your school is in a particular zone, then which regional office you have to approach, month-wise schedule performed by the schools, admission in schools, very, very important. What are the last dates, the flow of students' data. It's such a beautiful flow chart they have made, and I really appreciate the efforts of whoever the team who has prepared this. Then the correct data that has to be given to by the school to the CBSE. There are some FAQs given there. So SOP, standard operating procedures for admission to 9, 10, 11, 12. So very, very important for 9, 10, 11, 12 teachers and people who are dealing with this. Regarding change of subjects and submission of list of candidates, that is the LOC for class 10 and 12 examinations 2021, information required in Oasis, frequently asked questions. All this is very, very clearly explained here. And also for the special provisions, what are the relaxations, which type of students will get the relaxation, what is the procedure, anomalies in question papers. We were waiting for all these instructions to come, and finally the document is out. Some of you lose your certificate, so what is the process of availing of duplicate documents, etc., etc. So it's a very, very well documented circular and annexure. So here we have some information which is very, they have bold, they have highlighted that in fact that as on July 2020, there are 23,149 schools in India and abroad. That is 26 countries. Imagine 26 countries affiliated to the CBSE board, and about 31 lakh students have registered for the secondary and senior schools certificate examination 2020. So it's a huge responsibility, and this letter has been given by our chairperson, that is Manoj Ahuja. And this is the controller of examination, Mr. Sayyam Bardwaj, has equally expressed his thanks to all the people who have made this document. Okay, so let me just go through the highlights of this document, which is useful for most. Okay, so they have got the legal status. It is given by Dr. Sayyam Bardwaj. He gives most of the instructions regarding our examinations. So the first thing that we'll see in this document is section 1, that is the introduction. What was the need for this? Okay, so you can read through that. There are so many queries coming to CBSE, it becomes very difficult for the CBSE to answer individual queries. So they are asking us to contact the nearest regional offices. You know, many are going and approaching directly CBSE offices. That is not the right way of doing. please approach your regional offices. The regional offices are for you to, you have any queries, that they are the first contact people rather than directly approaching CBSE. So what are the channels of communication? They are very clearly explained here in section number 3, that the it has been observed that even schools are making requests to some officer or department in the CBSE who is not responsible to deal with the request. So you get your Google search कर लेते हैं, कहीं number मिल जाता है, उनको phone करते हैं, mail करते हैं, and ultimately they are not in a position to answer those questions because they may be from a different department. So you are not supposed to send any query to them. And as it is, अभी तो ये हरकारा portal भी आ गया है. So what happens is that because of all these practices going on, there is a delay in action on the request received, there is wastage of time, and there are problems in the output because those officials to whom you are sending the mail probably have other responsibilities, so they are not able to look after their duty. So the most important thing is they have highlighted in this box that no request should be forwarded to CBSE which do not meet examination bylaws. Okay, so the heads of the institutions, all should be aware that all the requests should be made to the school, and all heads of the school should only correspond to the regional office. It's very clearly mentioned that parents and students should not go to CBSE and make requests. They should make to the school, and the heads of the school should send the correspondence to the regional office concerned. Okay, not to any regional office. All instruction given in this document should be followed strictly. And what a document it is! Everything, matters related to examination, all the details that you are looking for the fees, matters related to corrections. So here are the authority and the issues that they are taking. So we have the address and what are the issues. So if you are having anything related to exams, anything related to academics, there are separate address, phone numbers, emails given. Please contact the respective person only with respect to your problems. Okay, so we go ahead in this, that is section 4, that is the regional office. So depending on your state, depending on your region, a comprehensive list is given with email ID, phone numbers, right from Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, you name it, every place has a CBSE school, and all that is made into a very, very detailed list with phone numbers and email IDs. Okay, so month-wise schedule performed by the schools. So they have given a very good schedule here. What is the activity to be performed? So from July 2020 to September 20, okay, that is your direct admission to 10 and 12. Suppose a student has not taken admission, and here what is happening, the data has to be submitted in Oasis. The dates given is July to September 2020. This is only for this year. Next year the dates will change. Okay, this time they have extended all this little bit. Okay, so schools will inform about CWSN candidates. What is CWSN? CWSN होता है children with special needs. कोई exemption चाहिए, कोई concession चाहिए, कोई writer चाहिए. All this should be informed to the boards. For direct admission in class 10 and 12, you know, all the cases have to be brought to the notice. The schools have to give admission, and the direct admission, there are some rules and regulations which later we'll be talking about. Okay, so that is the direct admission. A date is given as August. Okay, so August, and then we have further, we have the action for CWSN students. What is the school supposed to do? What are the documents required? What is the for change of subjects? Many students want to change their subjects in class 11 from 11 to 12. All this is detailed explanation of what has to be done, to whom it has to be given. All that is explained here. Okay, so you can go through this document. You can download this document from www.cbse.nic.in. So we have all these documents. Then we have admission. Okay, so if you want admission in schools, then what is the time? It's very important that you give the correct spelling of your name. नहीं तो क्या होता है 10th में 12th में आके बोलते हैं कि मेरा नाम में S missing है, my father's name is this, my date of birth is this. All this data is going to be they'll continue with the same data, and you will have a problem. So please remember that every data that is given to the CBSE should be same. According to your passport, Aadhaar card, school record, all should be same. No nicknames and pet names should not be used. and the original names will be used continuously. And they have given us the admission form. They have given the format for those schools which are new. They can refer to this and make their own. Okay, this is the format for admission and withdrawal of register. Suppose you have registered and you want to withdraw, then that is the draft. This is the transfer certificate. You want to change your school due to your parents are getting a transfer from one city to the other, or you have any other issues, then this is the format for the TC. Then we have the flow of students data. This is such a nice flow chart, you know, that they have given starting from the birth of the child. That is so interesting here. So this is the flow chart that I'm talking about. See here, the summation of information of birth. So right from the birth, you are registering yourself with the correct name. Then the birth certificate is issued. Then the parents approach the school. Then the admission form is filled with all the correct spellings. Admission is granted by the school. Then if suppose you are changing the school, then you have to take the TC, very important. Some people without taking the transfer certificate are going to the next school. Now in the new school, they are not going to enter your name from the birth certificate. They will take the information available on the TC. That is a very important rule that has come. Then the student goes up to class 9, because up to 8 there is no failure. The student goes to class 9. There is online registration of the student, and the registration card is obtained. And then class 10, the same data that you filled in class 9, the same data will be shown to you once more. And then after confirmation from the parents, and you are going to sign that and then submit it for class 10. Then you go to class 11, you're going to register for class 12, just like you did for class 9. And then the same process, and class 12 you will give, and up to the passing certificate. So the full flow chart is very nicely explained. Now, correction of data. Many people are having problem in their name, date of birth, father's name, mother's name. So there is a comprehensive list of documents that has to be attached for the rectification of the same. Operating procedures for admission to class 9 and 11 is given. If you want admission in class 9 and 11, the reasons and the request from the parents, what should be the format of the application, what is the reason for shifting. So if you're shifting, then what are the things that you have to submit in school, residence proof and identity proof, all that is given, very nicely explained. So you may go through that. Okay, so yeah, so all the correct procedure is already given. This is for direct admissions in class 9 and 11. This is for the admission to class 10 and 12. In rare cases, you may get admission to 10 and 12 because of transfers, because you're shifting from one place to the other due to medical reasons or any other reason that is mentioned here. Then what are the documents and what is the procedure? They have very nicely explained here. So here, all this information you are going to get. This is the direct admission form that has to be submitted by the school to CBSE. Okay. Then section number 11, the standard operating procedure for change of subjects. Okay, you have studied a set of subjects in class 11. Now you want to change the subjects. It is possible to change. Okay, it's there are what is the reasons and how do we follow up that? It is already mentioned in this. Okay, so you have to first inform to the school. The school will, you know, inform to the regional office, and then you will be allowed to change your subject. So this is the format. Request for this is for the principal that you will give to your school. Request for change of subject. The reasons you have to give 1, 2, 3 reasons and the documents in support of your reason. If you want to change from A to B, why are you changing, and supporting documents. Okay, then the school gives to the regional office. The letter is forwarded to the regional office, and then it is approved or not approved. You will get a letter. So that is the procedure. Okay, then this is for the disabilities, very useful for special educators and counselors. What are the disabilities that are recognized in as per the CBSE rules? What is the advisory given to the school? What are the benefits that the school is going to give to the student, extra time and writers, or, you know, what are the certificates? So exemptions, from where the issuing has the medical certificate has to be done, all that is mentioned. Then the facility of the scribe. Okay, if there are certain categories, then they will be given also a scribe, that means a writer, for you to write the exams if you are not able to write on your own. So this is explained very clearly. Then for class 10, exemption for a third language, again, there are, you can take exemption if you are in certain categories of disability. You can go through that, and you have alternate type of questions, especially those who are visually challenged are not able to do certain questions. So there is some flexibility in the choice of questions as well. Okay, so schedule for making request to avail facilities and exemptions. It is given here up to 7th September of the academic year. All the requests for exemption should go, right? 7th September. So you just have 5 days more to do this. Okay, and the schools are going to inform the regional office at the earliest by 7th. And then we have the next, that is the regional office will communicate if there is any deficiency by 30th September. So you are going to give the application by 7th, and they are going to respond by 30th, and the schools will then fulfill that deficiency by approval will be granted by 21st October, and the schools will communicate the approval to these students by 30th October. So within 1.5 months, the entire procedure is going to get over. Okay, so this is the certificate that about declaring disability, signed by the chief medical officer, civil surgeon, or medical superintendent of a government health institution. Very clearly mentioned. So it cannot be from any doctor. So these are the forms that are attached. Okay, this is the schedule for forming the panel for the writers. So all these documents you can read if you have students belonging to the PWD category, person with disabilities, or CWSN category, that is children with special needs. Submission of list of candidates. Okay, so this is what we were waiting for a long time. Now this is happening. The LOC is to be submitted soon. Schools should sponsor only their own candidates, very clearly mentioned. Nobody from private other schools or private candidates cannot be enrolled all of a sudden. So LOC has to be prepared. Online submission. You have to update the data on the Oasis and the HPE portal. There are some instructions given that what has to be done on the Oasis and HP portal. So after entering the Oasis and HP, then only they can submit the LOC data. Okay, so we move ahead. And they have given point number 19. In earlier years, the schools were required to send the signed copy of the finalized data of LOC to the regional office. From this year onward, this practice has been done away with. So it's not going to happen this year. The LOC will be uploaded on the system provided with the digital signature of the principal. And in this regard, complete guidelines will be issued separately. So the earlier what used to happen, we used to get the signed copy of the finalized data. That is not going to come. So after the final submission, obviously nothing is going to get corrected, and whatever has been submitted will be the final, and no mistakes will be corrected once it is uploaded and your name comes in the LOC. Okay, so submission of data in the Oasis, the schools will submit till 20th October. That is the date given here for without penalty. After 20th October, there will be penalty as applicable. Okay, so for everyone should submit all the data in the Oasis by 20th October. After that, there will be some penalty that is going to be issued. So this is the dates from 7th September to 15th October. This will be the fee, that is the normal fee that has to be given. This is 1500 per candidate for 5 subjects, 1200 per candidate for 5 subjects for if they are from SC/ST category, and then 300 for additional subjects. And late fee is going to be 2000 per candidate. That is from 16th October to 31st October. Right. So visually impaired candidates will be exempted from examination fee. And these are the dates again given for class 12. Everything has to be completed by 15th October. From 16th to 31st, they are going to charge late fee. Okay, so they have given the procedure how to upload photographs and other documents. Okay, all the subjects that can be taken in class 10 and 12, there is a list of subjects. Okay, so this is the list of subjects. So you are already aware of the subjects that you have taken. You just need to fill those correctly in the form. Okay, so these are the list of subjects. Then procedure for online filling of list of candidates, that is also given. And if you see, everything is online except for the correction of the candidates details, only that is manual. Okay, so the checklist is going to come online, it's going to be printed, and then once the checklist comes and the candidates details are going to be printed in that, and then what happens is that the correction can be done on the checklist and then finally uploaded on the online. And once it is done in online, then the final list is printed and the fees is paid and the data is finalized. Okay, so here we have details on the photograph that has to be submitted. Okay, so this is details about the printing part. Information required in Oasis. Okay, so this is the information that the schools have to give: the name of the principal, all the details, school's number, affiliation number, etc. All that, a lot of details they have asked this time. Total number of labs, laboratory, everything. So if it is a new school, they have a lot of work. If it's an old school, all this data is already filled and they have got it ready made. So all the data that is to be filled has to be done for the Oasis. It's a huge form. They're asking for a lot of details. The number of students, the facility provided, how many labs, how many libraries, sports ground, area, water taps, everything. And in the end, they have given a frequently asked questions. Very nice. And you will find that, a lot of questions are there. And most of the questions they have answered that you should contact your regional office for any clarification. Please don't hesitate, because the regional offices is your first point of contact for any clarification. You may get information from outside which may not be genuine and correct. So what you should do is always contact your regional office, and the list is already submitted here in the initial parts of the book. Then the registration, all this I have already explained how to go through this data. Okay, so this is the registration just like for 10th and 12th. This is the registration for 9 and 11 which has to be done. And okay, so fee shall be applicable as per fee schedule. If the student has entered on or before 4th November, then no late fee will be applicable. So the date for 9 and 11 they have given as 4th November. Okay, so that is 7th September to 4th November. So little bit extra time as compared to 10 and 12. So up to 4th November we have time. And with late fee, there is a little bit of extension, that is up to 13th November. So after 13th November, nothing will be possible. So that is about class 9 and 11 registration. Again, the steps for uploading the photographs, same like class 10 and 12. So it's important to fill it very correctly, because this next year, the same information will be used for registration of class 10 and 12. Okay, now here comes the good old question. What happens with students having less attendance? Now, this is the important part, because many students don't come to class. Nowadays, it's online. So what happens when the attendance is less? So here, the school needs to keep a document of the attendance. And if it is short, it is to be communicated to the students and parents. And of course, the school have to inform the student that it is getting less, and so that, and warn the students that if they're not attending, then they will not be able to give the examination, because it's important as per the examination bylaws to have 75% of attendance. So if the attendance is not there, then they will have to give valid reasons. Okay, the reasons they have given is prolonged illness, you need medical certificate for that. Then loss of parent, in unfortunate times some things may happen, and the CBSE recognizes these facts. Any serious illness or anything which is very serious in nature, you will have to get a letter from your parents or by some concerned authority and the recommendation from the school. If you are a sportsman and taking part in national level sports, then you get exemption in the attendance, and otherwise there is no way that the CBSE is going to pardon you for the shortage of attendance. So schools are supposed to compile the attendance and they will send it in January, and this is the pro forma that has to be sent by the school in case the candidate is short of attendance. So it's the attendance is very important, especially for class 10 and 12 students. This is for the internal assessment, the practical and internal assessment. Okay, so after declaration of result, there will be no change in the practical. So suppose a student is failing in the theory, the practical marks is going to remain the same. He can give the theory paper again. Okay, so all the schools will conduct practical examination and the project assessment from 1st January 2021 to 8th February. So these are the dates that are given. Okay, schools will ensure that the practicals are conducted by the external examiners appointed by CBSE only. So they are wanting the schools to conduct practicals. So after September 21, let's see what is the strategy of the schools. How do they conduct the practicals? And then we have the subject-wise distribution of marks. This is already available to us on the CBSE sites, and most of the students and teachers are already aware of this. Okay, so how many marks theory, how many marks practical, that document is already covered. It's not a new document, so I'm skipping this. Special provisions, if you're taking part in any sport, then what are the benefits that you get? Attendance is one. Relaxation of wards if for armed forces and military for 2021. Okay, so if they miss their examination or something due to postings and other reasons, then you can. Then verification of marks. This procedure comes, of course, after the declaration of results. So this is in 2021. Okay. So that's the immediate things that has to be done. That is the LOC registration for class 9, 10, 11, 12. Attendance has to be good for the students, and other procedures of submission of fee are explained in this document. So as I said, it is a very, very comprehensive book. Everything is available in this book. So duplicate, in case you lose your certificates, you can get your duplicate. How do you get? As per the year of passing, okay, 1975 to 2010, then where do you have to go? 2020, where do you have to go? Everything is mentioned as per the year with address, phone numbers, and the email ID. So you will not have any problem in getting your duplicate. Normally nowadays it's very fast, you get within a week, and if you're lucky, you may get in a few days. So this is the fee for getting your duplicate documents. Very reasonable. Only if it is more than 20 years of passing and now you realize that you don't have your document, then it's 2000. Otherwise, up to 5 years, it's only 250. So all these are documents which the CBSE can give. What is the procedure, and everything is given. So in the end, they are saying that this document has been prepared by experts, definitely. But in case you would like to give your suggestions in improving the next edition, then please do that. And this can be emailed to ce.cbse2014@gmail.com. So this is one positive thing I'm seeing in CBSE. They're asking suggestions from all the stakeholders, and they want to improve. And this journey, I believe, is for the positive. Thank you.